Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen, the channel that brings you your team every single day, channel that brings you all the content for absolutely free. All you've got to do is hit that sub, ring that notification bell, and you'll never miss out on any of the great daily news videos, news updates, breaking news stories, statements from the club, live streams, podcasts, everything, guys, all for free. Just hit that sub. Obviously ring the bell so you don't miss out. Obviously check out this morning's daily news video with news about Tom Lawrence and other bits of news around the club. Now, that Michael Beale has just finished speaking to the media. He will now speak to the written media, which will be news that will be embargoed until later, but the very latest as he gave his press conference at the training ground today. Beale spoke about injuries. He spoke about players back available. He spoke about the Ross County game. He spoke about the different demands on the squad. First of all, Beale spoke about the fact that Ridvan has returned to training but is not available for this weekend. He has started training again, but it's felt that his fitness is not at a stage where he could be thrown into competitive action for the club, meaning highly likely that someone along the lines of Borna Barisic or maybe even Johnny Yefeko may start at that left back position. I think given what Michael Beale has said and the fact that, he's very aware of the fact we cannot drop any more points in the league, it is more likely that Borna will start at left back. Some good news in terms of players who are available for tomorrow, according to Michael Beale. Tom Lawrence and Kemar Roof will both travel with the squad. Both are available for selection ahead of that game in Dingwall on Saturday lunchtime. Good news to have both Tom and Kemar back. Tom Lawrence, who has played a limited role for the club due to his injury problems that he's had since he joined last summer. But Lawrence is certainly someone I know who excites fans, someone who's not afraid to take a shot, someone who will really add to that attacking area for the team. And Kemar Roof, someone who, is probably the best finisher at the club. And I would urge Beale perhaps to think about actually playing with Roof in some role tomorrow, give him an opportunity to start if it is that he's going to rest someone like Cyril Dessers ahead of the Champions League game on Wednesday. On Lawrence and Roof, Michael Beale said it was a big boost to have them back in the squad, and his words were both hopefully feature tomorrow. So it does look like, according to Michael Beale, they will play at least some part, if not starting at least off the bench. Although he could spring that surprise, like I said, and start one of them. Probably Kemar Roof is probably the most match fit of the pair, as Lawrence has only just returned from fitness. Although he did play about an hour in a B team game the other day against Hamilton Accies at the Rangers training complex, where he actually scored a goal as well. Michael Beale said, "We know it's a massive week for us ahead of the international break, which obviously comes up fairly soon. We play against Ross County on Saturday, PSV Eindhoven on Wednesday, and then the first Old Firm game next Sunday. So an absolutely huge week for Rangers. 3 must-win games, definitely." Michael Beale said, "We had to show some different qualities on Tuesday night. There were some good signs, but our focus is now on Ross County." And it really does need to be. Rangers cannot be performing well against top European teams, holding teams like PSV to a draw, and then slipping up against teams like Ross County. No disrespect to Ross County, but these are games that this squad are expected to go and win. They really do need to go out there and compete and fight and battle. Ross County will be well organised. They'll probably put 10 men behind the ball. They will make it as difficult as possible for Rangers to play. We will need to find a way to unlock that defence whilst trying to keep it tight at the back from set pieces and breakaways. Michael Beale went on to say, "Ross County have started well, but we are focused on a tough match as the league is massive for us." And I think that is a very positive statement. I think for all of us fans, the key trophy that we all want back this year is that league title. We all want 56. We don't want to be behind them. We don't want them winning another league and closing in on our total. We want our league back. And I think that is something that is clear that in Michael Beale's estimations is very important. Now, given the fact that he said that the league is massive for us, expect a strong team tomorrow. Personally, I have said that I think Raskin and Cantwell both need to start. They are our best 2 players. And, even if you have to take them off after 60 minutes, after getting a couple of goals ahead, that is the way you've got to play. You've got to play your best players. You cannot mess around. After that opening day defeat to Kilmarnock, we really cannot afford to slip any further back. On the attacking positions, Michael Beale said we have multiple strong options and we've had multiple goal scorers already. He has spoke that, he said earlier in the press conference that obviously that Lawrence and Roof will return and will hopefully feature. But Rangers do have Lammers available. They do have Dessers available. They do have Danilo available, Matondo available, Cantwell available, a number of attacking options up there. So it's clear that, that we have the options up there to really mix it up. And given what Michael has said about the league being very important, I suggest you're probably going to see some of those new signings on display in Dingwall tomorrow lunchtime. And he's right, players have scored. Dessers obviously hasn't scored in the league yet. Danilo has. Lammers has scored in the league. Matondo scored goals. There's been goals spread out across the team. Seamer's now scored goals. And it's important that we continue to do that. If we are going to be serious about getting 56, if we are going to be serious about contending, we need to keep that up with multiple players scoring goals. You need players, a little bunch of players scoring 10 to 15, another bunch of players scoring 15 to 20, and perhaps one player out the top getting you 20 to 25 goals in a season. And that is certainly something that Rangers will hope now we have all these attacking options, as Michael Beale says. On not having Tom Lawrence and Kemar Roof, Michael Beale said it's been a big frustration for him, which I think it has been for fans as well. I think a lot of us rate Kemar Roof very highly. I know Kemar has had his injury concerns and has had a lot of injury concerns, has missed an awful lot of football. But it's worth remembering during the 55 title season, he was the top scorer and he certainly knows where the net is. And I think a lot of fans rate him as one of the best finishers in Scotland. And as I said earlier in the video, Tom Lawrence is someone who excites fans when he plays and certainly did at the start of last season. So having them both back in his squad, Michael Beale says, is a real boost for me. Players I have thought of as starters. So it's clear, perhaps he is dropping a hint there that maybe Lawrence and Roof will both get a start tomorrow in some capacity as Beale seeks to mix it up ahead of the PSV Eindhoven game on Wednesday. If he considers Roof and Lawrence both starters, then maybe that is something he is considering for this game tomorrow. As we go into the international break, we get stronger as a squad and we can build in the coming weeks. And the international break will obviously be a time of concern as well as players go away with their countries. Obviously, John Souttar away with Scotland, given John's past history of getting injured on international duty, Ryan Jack also, there'll be concerns over their fitness. But, it is a time that we do have to, to really work on getting these players back fit, those that are currently out. Michael Beale went on to say, we have built this squad really well. Financially, we have added strong players without overpaying, and I think we are in a very good place. Michael's right. We have spent a lot of money this summer for Rangers, not a great deal of money in terms of comparison to English Premier League clubs. I think, there was a comparison done, and I know that we are obviously leagues ahead of Hibs, but I think the total spend on the Hibs squad was something like 11.5 million the other night, whereas Aston Villa's was something like 500 million. And what Hibs make in a turnover in a year, Villa make in a week. There is a vast difference now between English and Scottish football. We know that. In terms of all those expenditures, we've spent 5.4 million on Danilo, 4.3 on Dessers, 3 on Sam Lammers, 1.2 on Cifuentes. The rest of the players have come in either on frees or on a loan deal. So we've had to spend no money on Sterling, Dow, Butland, Balogun or Seamer, other than perhaps signing on fees. So, in terms of actual expenditure, there you've got around about 13.9 million pounds, which obviously we have invested, we have spent money, which is good for us, but we have started to regain some of that money. The sale of Sakala for 4 million, the possible upcoming sale obviously of Glenn Kamara as well will bring in money for us. So Beale is right in what he says. Michael Beale spoke a little bit more about Kemar Roof. Kemar Roof seemed to be a topic of conversation quite a lot in this press conference. Is this dropping this hint that Kemar will play some role tomorrow? Beale said, I think Kemar has shown in training his quality and we can use him across the season. Tom is not ready for 90 minutes just now, but by the time we return from international break, he likely will be, and what a boost for everyone that will be. So I think, perhaps a hint that Kemar may start, but Lawrence may be used off the bench. yeah, another hint there given by Michael Beale, but certainly good news that both of them are now injury-free and ready to compete. Michael Beale went on to say, every 3 days we are playing, so it's important we can have a squad that can manage the schedule. The squad will be so important. We have to look and see who is ready to play and who is correct for the next challenge up. So it's very much, I think, what Michael Beale is saying about picking horses for courses and players to suit the game we are playing in, which is the right approach to take. So again, I think we will see some changes ahead of the game tomorrow. Let me know what you think the lineup will be in the comments below. On Nnamdi Offabor, Michael Beale was asked about him. He said Nnamdi has been through a real tough journey and it's not been easy time for him and his family. We wish him all the best. A fantastic young man to work with. Michael's right. Nnamdi has been through an absolutely awful time in terms of his heart condition and the treatment he's needed for that. And I'm sure when he joined Rangers, he came with a lot of hope and expectation of playing for one of Europe's biggest clubs and what he could achieve here, for it all to be sort of taken away from him due to health concerns. And as Michael said, we do wish Nnamdi all the very best for the future. For definite, we do wish him all the best. Also, the player that was put up for press conference duties was Leon Balogun. I do think we may see Leon tomorrow. It does seem that Connor Goldson is being rested as he's been eased back from injury. So it could be a case that we see a Suter Balogun central defensive pairing tomorrow. A few highlights of what Leon had to say. He said it's not easy to come here. All the new lads realise that. You don't get time to adapt here. The players and staff are doing a great job. We can now see more and more of Dessa's game. His pass for the goal was world class, and we look forward to seeing more of that. And, Leon is right. Rangers is a tough place to come and play. It really is a hard place to settle in, a hard place for a player to, come into this cauldron of Ibrox. And I think that quote, was it Jock Brown or Jock Wallace? I can't remember who it was, who said it now, that said, yeah, I've heard you're a great player, but can you play for Rangers? And I think that is a very true statement, isn't it? You may be a great player, but can you settle in and can you handle the pressure of wearing the royal blue shirt? I think that is definitely the case. Leon went on to say it was a massive week for the club. And he's right. It is an absolutely huge week from the club. It really is, with the game on Saturday, which we can't underestimate, and then the massive Champions League qualifier, which we really do need to win and get to the group stages for the reasons I outlined in the video this morning. And also, the fact we've got Celtic coming up very sharp on the back of that game against PSV. Leon also spoke about his fellow defender, John Suter. He said, that John's strong, he can step out with the ball, and he's seen a few things in John's game that he would like to copy. So even at his age, Leon Balogun is still looking to develop his game and seeing great things from John Suter. He talked about John and Connor, how well they performed against PSV during the week. And he says, whoever plays back there, we have very, very good relate focus to PSV on Wednesday. Leon went on to say that everyone has got personal ambitions of Champions League football. Personally, he's never played Champions League and he wants to play there and against and with the best players. So some interesting stuff coming out of the press conference, from Michael Beale and also from Leon Balogun ahead of tomorrow's tough game against Ross County before a absolutely huge week with PSV and Celtic. Remember, here on Glasgow Rangers Nation, we'll keep you all across the action, all across everything that is going on at the club. Please remember to hit the sub, ring the notification bell, and come and join the channel. And as always, there's two things I need you to do for me. Number one is smash the like, and number two is remember always, we are the people.